What if everything you were told about love was a lie? We live in a world that celebrates love, but doesn't understand it. A world that parades love in movies, in songs, and in slogans, yet strips it of meaning where it matters most, in the home, in the heart, and in the soul. Modern love isn't a covenant, but a commodity. Sold on apps, packaged in algorithms, and traded in fleeting moments. It's reduced to personal choice, defined by self-expression, and framed around feelings. And feelings can easily change, fade, and vanish. The very idea of love has been hijacked by modernity and reshaped to serve a culture obsessed with self-fulfillment, independence, and instant gratification. In Liquid Love on the Frailty of Human Bonds, Zygmunt Bauman expressed that in a liquid modern life, relationships are easily entered and exited. Love becomes a consumer experience, valued for as long as it brings satisfaction, and discarded once it becomes burdensome. Today, love isn't about giving, but about getting. It isn't about building, but about feeling. And when the feeling goes, so does the commitment. Love has become a product of a consumer-driven, secular society. It's no longer sacred, no longer permanent, and no longer rooted in something higher than the self. It's a lie dressed as freedom. And the cost is civilizational collapse. To understand how we got here, we must look at what industrial civilization did to the human soul. In the age of machines, everything became a product, even people. Capitalism didn't just reshape economies, it has also reshaped relationships. Love became industrialized, commodified into something that could be packaged, sold, upgraded, or replaced. Herbert Marcuse described in One-Dimensional Man how the growth of technology and industrialization has not only shaped material conditions, but also transformed the human experience, reducing authentic interpersonal relationships to market-based transactions. Relationships were redefined through the lens of rights, my freedom, my happiness, and my fulfillment. But rights without responsibility produce emptiness, not intimacy. Love has become a negotiation, a transaction, a contract of mutual benefit. Rather than, what can I offer? We now ask, what can I get instead? In the malaise of modernity, Charles Taylor conveyed that in modern societies, the emphasis on individual rights and personal fulfillment has led to the atomization of society, where deep, meaningful connections give way to self-centered pursuits of happiness. And so marriage, once a sacred bond of duty, mercy, and divine witness, was downgraded into a legal document, easily entered and easily broken. The question stopped being, is this right in the eyes of God? And became, do I still feel good in this arrangement? When love is treated like a consumer product, it becomes disposable. And when people become products, connection becomes impossible. Nowhere is this more obvious than in the rise of dating apps. We now swipe, match, discard, and repeat. Love has been digitized and reduced to pixels and profiles. A human soul is now presented as a product card. Picture, age, occupation, and a catchy slogan. The illusion that more choice leads to better love. But the truth is the opposite. Sherry Turkle concluded in Alone Together, Why We Expect More from Technology and Less from Each Other, that technology doesn't just change what we do. It changes how we relate to each other. Dating apps are an example of how our quest for connection has been reshaped, reducing human interactions to shallow exchanges that prioritize convenience over meaningful connection. With endless options comes endless anxiety. With unlimited access comes zero value. Commitment becomes impossible when every connection feels replaceable. And so a paradox emerges. People are surrounded by more potential partners than ever before and feel more alone than ever before. In The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less, Barry Schwartz outlined how the more choices we have, the less satisfied we are with the outcome. By offering endless options, dating apps paradoxically make commitment harder and make users feel more disconnected and anxious. These platforms frame love as convenience, not covenant. Interaction becomes a transaction. The checklist replaces curiosity. Expectations replace exploration. The heart is filtered through algorithms, and the soul is lost in the scroll. Even friendship struggles to survive in this model. So how can we expect something as profound as love to thrive? This isn't connection. This is just consumption. And what's worse, we've accepted it as normal. But another disaster was unfolding long before the first swipe. According to SEMrush, US traffic accounts for 18.41% of global visits to pornographic websites, making it the highest source. And data published in 2010 by the Journal of Sex Research shows that over 80% of American men under 30 consume pornography on a weekly basis. A whole generation trained to see intimacy without commitment and desire without duty. And the result? In the United States, the communities with the highest divorce rates are those shaped most deeply by secularized, post-industrial culture. The 51% divorce rate of Protestants tops the chart. Catholics follow at 19%, while the rate sits at 11% even among atheists. The numbers speak for themselves. The farther a people move from covenant, the faster their relationships collapse. But divorce is only part of the story. According to the Institute for Family Studies, unmarried parenthood is now the fastest growing family structure in America, with over 40% of all births now occurring outside of wedlock. Millions of children are entering the world without the stability of a committed union. In the era of dating apps and disposable love, the very foundation of the family is being dismantled quietly and at scale. Such is the result of generational disconnection, unstable homes, eroded trust, and children raised in the fallout of adult convenience. The collapse of modern relationships is not random, but structural. It's not just that people are failing each other, but the system they're using was never designed to succeed. To understand why modern love fails, we must dissect it in contrast to what it deliberately avoids: the divine structure of the fiqh of nikah, or the Islamic jurisprudence of marriage. First, intent. Modern love starts without direction. Feelings lead the way, intentions are vague, and commitment is deferred until it's emotionally convenient. The fiqh of nikah starts with niyyah, a declared, conscious, and public intention to marry for the sake of Allah. No confusion, no delay, and no deception. Abdur Rahman Yusuf Mangera, in Fiqh al-Nikah, Understanding the Islamic Marriage Contract, highlights how, in Islamic jurisprudence, the marriage contract, nikah, commences with a clear and conscious intention, niyyah, ensuring that both parties enter the union with mutual understanding and commitment. Second, gatekeeping. Modern relationships bypass the community. They're hidden, private, and often secretive, designed to escape accountability. The fiqh of nikah demands witnesses, guardians, and public affirmation. The structure doesn't just allow guidance, but instead requires it. In the story of the Quran, its history and place in Muslim life, Ingrid Mattson examines how the presence of witnesses and a guardian in the marriage process underscores the communal nature of marriage in Islam, ensuring transparency and societal support. Third, responsibility. In modern love, responsibility is optional. Gender roles are undefined. Duty is subjective. When things go wrong, no one is held accountable. In fiqh of nikah, responsibilities are codified: financial, emotional, ethical, and spiritual. Each spouse is answerable to both their partner and their creator. As Jamal Badawi presents in Gender Equity in Islam, Islamic marriage delineates clear responsibilities for both spouses, encompassing financial, emotional, and spiritual duties, fostering a balanced and accountable partnership. Fourth, conflict resolution. Modern relationships rely on emotional navigation. Disagreements are personal, explosive, and often end in silence or separation. Fiqh of nikah provides a blueprint. From mediation through families to judicial arbitration, even divorce has a process rooted in dignity and justice. Muhammad Akram Nadwi, in Al-Muhaddithat, the Women Scholars in Islam, explores how Islam provides structured mechanisms for conflict resolution in marriage, including mediation and arbitration, aiming to preserve the marital bond and ensure justice. Fifth, exit conditions. Modern relationships are disposable. There are no real terms, just moods, triggers, or unmet expectations. Fiqh of nikah makes divorce a last resort, surrounded by steps, waiting periods, rights, and reconciliation. Exit is not emotional. It is legal, ethical, and strategic. In Islamic family law in the United States, Asifa Quraishi Landes details how divorce in Islamic law is a process with specific steps and waiting periods, designed to ensure thoughtful decision-making and uphold the rights of both parties. Sixth, spiritual alignment. Modern love excludes God from the equation. It's built around pleasure, compatibility, and lifestyle alignment. Fiqh of Nikah centers the marriage on taqwa, consciousness and reverence of God. Love is not just horizontal, it's also vertical, anchored in obedience, mercy, and sacred accountability. In Purification of the Heart, Hamza Yusuf described marriage in Islam as not merely a social contract, but a spiritual covenant, aiming to bring partners closer to God through mutual support and shared faith. Modern love is designed for autonomy. It begins with chemistry and ends as a mess. The fiqh of nikah was revealed for harmony. It begins with commitment and ends in continuity. And such is the very reason why marriage and family bond is much stronger in Muslim communities. Modern love fails because it lacks structure. And when there is no structure, chaos becomes inevitable. No guidance, no purpose, no ethical compass, no spiritual depth. The modern world presents freedom as the solution, but delivers fragmentation as the outcome. Because at its core, modern love is self-centered. It prioritizes desire over duty, convenience over covenant, and feeling over function. But the deeper problem isn't just moral, it's metaphysical. As Anthony Giddens described in The Transformation of Intimacy, Sexuality, Love and Eroticism in Modern Societies, the traditional anchors of love, duty, permanence, and social structure in modern relationships have been replaced by the pursuit of emotional fulfillment, resulting in greater instability and uncertainty in personal life. While modern love tries to exist without the one who created love in the first place, the fiqh of nikah solves this by recentering the divine. It doesn't remove emotion, but dignifies it. It doesn't kill desire, but sanctifies it. Instead of leaving love to chance, it builds love into a system where rights are protected, duties are defined, and mercy is institutionalized. It is not merely better, it is complete. The fiqh of nikah is not just a list of rules, it is a revelation of divine design. It restores what the modern world destroyed. It restores intention by grounding relationships in purpose, not passion. It restores boundaries by erecting sacred protections around intimacy. It restores roles by assigning duties instead of leaving couples to invent them. It restores accountability by binding every spouse not only to each other, but to their Rab. And most importantly, it restores barakah. Umar Farooq Abdallah, in The Sacred Foundations of Justice in Islam, portrayed the Shariah's framework for marriage as not merely legal, but profoundly spiritual. It transforms companionship into worship, responsibilities into rights, and the union of man and woman into a divine institution designed to preserve virtue, lineage, and mercy. It is through the fiqh of nikah that love becomes worship, that mercy becomes mutual, that the union of two souls becomes a fortress for future generations. This is not theory. This is protection. And the evidence is in the global wreckage left behind by modern love. The world is searching for solutions: lower divorce rates, stronger families, healthier children, and lasting peace between men and women. But no man-made model has worked, because none of them began with God. The fiqh of nikah doesn't just fix marriage, but rescues it. It doesn't just stabilize love, but elevates it. The failure of modern love is not just emotional, it's existential. Civilizations do not survive without families, and families do not survive without structure. The fiqh of nikah is not a lifestyle alternative. It is the last line of defense.